Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and because the presidential election is now a crypto issue and we have only one pro-crypto candidate, I've got to show you some of what happened in the debate. It's also the elephant in the room. I thought the best part of the debate was Trump's closing statements. His closing statement pretty much lays out the disaster that Kamala Harris and her crew have done to this country, including, remember, Gary Gensler is their guy.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like we're not going to frack, we're not going to take fossil fuel, we're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you...
And by the way, she said that she was never against fracking. We'll show you
like
that.
it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just ask one simple question. Why didn't she do it? We're a failing nation. We're a nation that's in serious decline. We're being laughed at all over the world. All over the world, they're laughed. I know the leaders very well. They're coming to see me. They call me. We're laughed at all over the world. They don't understand what happened to us as a nation. We're not a leader. We don't have any idea what's going on. We have wars going on in the Middle East. We have wars going on with Russia and Ukraine. We're going to end up in a third world war, and it'll be a war like no other because of nuclear weapons, the power of weaponry. I rebuilt our entire military. She gave a lot of it away to the Taliban. She gave it to Afghanistan. What these people have done to our country, and maybe toughest of all, is allowing millions of people to come into our country. Many of them are criminals, and they're destroying our country. The worst president, the worst vice president in the history of our country.
I don't think there's many that can argue with that. Now, here's her lying. This is her last night. and by the way,
I made that very clear in 2020.
By the way, we've now been watching for years where all these, like in last night it was ABC moderators, but the moderators have always ganged up on Trump in every debate he's ever done, except for one. Oh, the irony. Why do you think that in the Joe Biden debate, the last one he had, the moderators did not gang up on Trump for the first time ever? You know why? It's because they knew, along with the Democrat Party, that if they didn't want Trump to lose that debate. They wanted that debate to be early because they knew they had to throw Biden overboard. And so they did not go hard on Trump in that debate so that he could clearly win the debate, and there would be the pressure to get rid of Biden. That was by design too, and it was in coordination with the media. Nobody's telling you that. But here's her lying about just one thing.
I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States. And in fact, I will...
Okay, so she's not banning fracking. Well, here's her when she was running.
My family lives in Western Pennsylvania, where fracked gas wells have become a common sight. Yet the toxic impacts of fracking on the community are immense, from contaminated groundwater to poisonous emissions. Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah.
Okay. So she's a liar. And every time they would try to fact check Trump, but they didn't fact check her at all. If they had, she would have been called out for that. Then you had this.
I would say we would both leave this debate right now. I'd like to see her go down to Washington, D.C. during this debate, because we're wasting a lot of time. Go down to, because she's been so bad, it's so ridiculous. Go down to Washington, D.C. and let her sign a bill to close up the border, because they have the right to do it. They don't need bills. They have the right to do it. The President of the United States, you'll get him out of bed, you'll wake him up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll say, come on down to the office, let's sign a bill.
Yeah,
I would say,
see, this is another one of the lies that she's been telling, and a lot of them have been telling. They've been floating this idea that you have to have a bill in order to close down the border, and you do not. This country's been in existence for hundreds of years now. They could close it yesterday. They intentionally have not closed it because they want that 15 to 20 million illegal immigrants to become their voters. They've been letting them in intentionally for that reason. This is, and if Elon Musk said it, if this election does not go the right way, these people are going to, you will never see another conservative president, or at least for decades you won't, because they're going to give these illegal immigrants all these freebies and housing and all this stuff so that they'll vote for them for the next 30 years and help them destroy the country and finish it off. Then there's this.
this is the one that
ABC cut him off right here.
weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation
we do have a lot
that went nowhere.
We have a lot.
Yep, and they know it too. Here's this is I don't know if I can say her name on here. She's a pretty controversial figure.
For many decades, the dollar has been the reserve currency. And the system is what I would describe as long in the tooth. And the central bankers are trying to bring in a new system, but it's not ready to go yet. And we're in a period of great change and uncertainty where the central bankers are trying to keep the dollar system going and accelerate. So they're trying to lengthen the dollar system, and then they're trying to accelerate bringing in the new system. So I describe the new system as the end of currencies. So we're not bringing in a new currency. We're essentially bringing in a new transaction system that will be all digital and essentially end currencies as we know them. So what they're trying to do involves essentially all the money on the planet. So it's big, it's
Did she just say all the money?
complicated, it's messy.
It involves all the money on the planet. And look, we had this tweet from Swift. We're paving the way towards real-world solutions that will enable our members to transact interchangeably with regulated digital assets and currencies on a SWIFT network. Jim and I put this out. Over the last 3 months, we randomly surveyed 6,000 people to gain insights on crypto adoption attitudes around the world. We've highlighted 11 key findings and broke them down in the State of Crypto 2024. I have the findings in front of me here on the other screen. I just wanted to give you their top findings. The first one is lack of regulatory clarity is a barrier to entry. In the US and UK, nearly 2 in 5, 38% non-owners cited regulatory concerns as barrier to, this is the barrier, folks, but it's also the opportunity, because those like myself with the guts to put their money down before the regulatory clarity, the people with the guts to place their bets before the regulatory clarity stand to win the most. That's the way I've always looked at this. In France, nearly 1 in 3, 32% said the same. Singapore, 49% of respondents said crypto regulations were a concern. The next top finding, the majority of crypto owners want to allocate 5% or more to digital assets. The next top finding, the gender gap in crypto ownership persists, but women are just as likely to hodl. 69% of crypto owners are identifying as male, 31% female. Spot crypto ETFs bring growth. In the US, nearly 2 in 5, 37% cryptocurrency owners surveyed said they hold some crypto through an ETF. And then finally, the last top finding is crypto has become a U.S. election issue for the first time. Majority of crypto owners 73% plan to consider a candidate's policies toward digital assets when they vote for the next president. Uh-oh, Kamala, that's not good for you. Okay, check this video out. This is the Mara
There
CEO.
are only 21 million Bitcoin. There never will be more Bitcoin. When people want to acquire something, it has to go up in price, just like when an artist dies, right? People pay $3 million for some spray paint on bricks in a place in London because Banksy says he did it, right? So don't give me a story about there's no value to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is valuable because people believe it's valuable. That's the only reason the dollar has value. It's because everybody in this room thinks the dollar has value. Bitcoin as an asset class is the perfect asset. It's hard money. And that's something I believe you'll see. Countries hold Bitcoin. You'll see more and more companies like Mara, like MicroStrategy, like lots of other companies hold Bitcoin. You'll see financial institutions hold Bitcoin. And as soon as the banks in the US are able to custody and collateralize Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin will explode.
Well said.
All right, interesting clip. Check this out from Cointelegraph. Tether recorded more profit than BlackRock in 2023. Tether posted $6.2 billion in profits last year, surpassing BlackRock's $5.5 billion. Folks, if you think Tether is not a government operation, I direct your eyes to this tweet, because this would not be allowed. These guys that are printing money out of thin air and have been for years. And I don't care if it's offshore or not. Ask CZ Binance if that matters. Look at this. David Schwartz is on Starlink now. Thanks, Elon. Seriously, this is awesome. Ripple 6th annual UBRI Connect in Zurich. Here's some of the photos from them over there. And you can see here, that's Eric Van Miltenberg. That's Jack McDonald, who now runs their stable coin. And I pulled their agenda. And right here is Jack McDonald's doing a stablecoin fireside chat. He's the senior VP of stablecoin now there at Ripple. Okay, we're going to go in DAIXRP.com, and here's what we're going to talk about. For years, I have been unable to talk about part of what you see here in this tweet. For years, if anytime I spoke about it on here, I would get either a video deleted or I would get a strike or a warning or whatever. Okay, I don't know why, but this is the topic that is not allowed out here. So, and I have a story to tell. My story of that date, and today is the anniversary, by the way. My story of that date is pretty wild. I'm going to tell, many of you maybe have never heard it, but I was up there in New York, and leading up to that, and I've got a story to tell you, and I've even got some video I'll show you. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family, away we go.